Let's take a minute to talk about your blood type and which foods can theoretically heal you or make you sicker. In 1996, Dr. Peter D'Adamo, a naturopathic physician, published a book that encouraged people to eat a particular diet according to what type of blood they have. His book, Eat Right for Your Type, was incredibly successful. It was a New York Times bestseller, sold millions of copies, and is still wildly popular today. In this book, he claims that the optimal diet for any one individual depends on the person's ABO blood type. He claims that each blood type represents genetic traits of our ancestors, including which diet they evolved to thrive on. Let's take a moment to dig into the blood type diet a little deeper just so you can understand what it's all about. The blood type diet is based on the fact that all foods have lectins or proteins and can interact with antibodies in blood. Dr. D'Adamo has tested a wide variety of foods and has determined which blood types react adversely to lectins in these foods. When a specific food's lectin reacts with a specific blood type, which is A, B, AB, or O, it causes a process called agglutination to occur. In agglutination, the lectins cause the blood to become sticky. Dr. D'Adamo believes these sticky blood cells can lead to medical conditions such as impaired digestion, kidney and liver problems, headache, diabetes, obesity, and many others. In order to reverse the problems caused by agglutination, an individual must avoid or limit the consumption of foods that cause it. Dr. D'Adamo has tested foods to determine which foods react adversely with which blood types. By following the blood type diet, these foods and the offending lectins may be avoided, and health may be improved. According to Dr. D'Adamo, there are 12 to 16 major food groups. These categories include meats and poultry, dairy and eggs, oils and fats, nuts and seeds, beans and legumes, cereals, breads and muffins, grains and pasta, vegetables, fruit, juices and fluids, spices, condiments, herbal teas, and miscellaneous beverages like coffee, colas, and beer. Within each of these food groups, Dr. D'Adamo describes the individual foods as foods that encourage weight gain, foods that encourage weight loss, beneficial foods, neutral foods, and foods to avoid. In this way, the diet is unique and individual for each blood type. For example, chicken is considered neutral for individuals with blood type O and blood type A, and is found on the foods to avoid list for individuals with blood type B and AB. Another example is grains such as wheat. Dr. D'Adamo reports that there are no wheat products that are beneficial for people with blood type O. They are to be avoided completely. Similarly, he advises that individuals with blood type B avoid wheat as well. Wheat may be beneficial for people with blood type A and neutral for those with blood type AB. With that being said, keep in mind everything that we've learned about gluten so far in this program. There is a mounting body of evidence to suggest that the modern wheat, especially the variety that is cultivated and processed in the United States, is not good for anyone regardless of blood type. However, European varieties of wheat may actually be beneficial for those with blood type A and neutral for type AB. Anthropologists have traced the origins of each blood type. The earliest blood type was type O. Because type O doesn't contain antigens to any other blood group, it is said to be the universal donor, meaning that those with type O blood can donate to any other blood group but cannot receive blood from them in return. Since these people were ancient hunter-gatherers and ate a diet dominated by meat, blood type O individuals developed antibodies against the lectins found in agricultural foods such as wheat and other grains. Dr. D'Adamo suggests that individuals with blood type O should eat a diet more similar to their ancient ancestors. That is, a diet with more meats and fewer grains. Some beneficial foods for type O include seaweed, red meat, oily cold water fish, spinach, and kale. On the other hand, some foods for type O to avoid include wheat, corn, kidney beans, navy beans, and white potatoes. The next blood type to evolve was type A. As the environmental conditions changed, humans began to grow food rather than hunt it. The diet shifted from predominantly meat to plant-based. As the human diet changed and blood type A evolved, antibodies for lectins to meat were formed. According to Dr. D'Adamo, individuals with blood type A have antibodies against many lectins found in meat and will benefit from a largely vegetarian or plant-based diet. Some beneficial foods for type A include cultured soy products, pineapple, olive oil, onions, and broccoli. On the other hand, some foods for type A to avoid include red meat, milk, lima beans, white potatoes, and oranges. The next blood type to emerge was type B. As ancient peoples migrated and adapted to more and more climate change, blood type B then evolved. The diet included both meats and plants, as well as dairy products. Dr. D'Adamo believes this is the reason individuals with blood type B developed fewer antibodies against lectins found in meat and grain. He also believes this is why people with blood type B are more tolerant of milk products relative to other blood types. Some beneficial foods for type B include red meat, broccoli, cultured dairy products, onions, and pineapple. On the other hand, some foods for type B to avoid include chicken, corn, peanuts, lentils, and buckwheat. The final blood type to evolve was type AB. Type AB is only about 1,000 years old and is considered to be the universal receiver, meaning they can receive blood from other blood groups, but cannot donate to any other blood group due to the antigens contained in the red blood cells. This is the rarest blood type even today, with fewer than 5% of the world's population having type AB blood. Type AB evolved when A and B blood types intermingled. Dr. D'Adamo describes this blood type as a complex blood type with many strengths and many contradictions. Because this blood type carries the antigens from both type A and type B blood, it is said that type ABs do best with a dietary strategy that incorporates both the vegetarian sensibilities of type A and the meat and dairy needs of type B. Some beneficial foods for type AB include tofu, cultured dairy products, broccoli, walnuts, and cauliflower. On the other hand, some foods for type AB to avoid include chicken, corn, buckwheat, lima beans, and kidney beans. Now, I want to be clear that there isn't a tremendous amount of scientific research backing the blood type diet theory, but anecdotal evidence from many people who have tried this diet seems to suggest that there may be something worth paying attention to here. In addition to these slides, I have included a PDF document containing the full list of recommended foods, neutral foods, and foods to avoid for each general blood type. I would encourage you to carefully review the list that corresponds with your individual blood type and then try introducing more of the foods on the beneficial list for a few weeks. You can introduce or remove these foods gradually, but what I really want you to pay attention to is how each of these foods affects your body. Do the beneficial foods make you feel healthier and more invigorated? Do you naturally tend to avoid the foods on the avoid list anyway? This has been a quick overview of the blood type diet theory. Hopefully this theory is something that you can add to your tool belt in order to improve your diet and overall health.